Good morning. Today is Wednesday, May 12th, 5:11 in the morning, and my best friends, the cicadas, are out, keeping me alive, keeping me alert, because they're so loud. They're so loud. This morning I was thinking about the way to succeed, and obviously I haven't been doing this for very long, and I don't have the most freeness of speech when it comes to this subject, but I'm trying my best, and I'm seeing some results, so that's good. And I had a chat with a friend recently, talking about how I try to view everything as a game. And my nature is very competitive. And especially when there's a strong competitor, then I become even more competitive. Now, there is nobody of a stronger competitor than yourself. I watched this interesting documentary yesterday, TED Talks actually, and it talked about how in life there's a group of 50,000 people who took a test, essentially to figure out a puzzle, and if they made a mistake, then they start out over, and they had 100 points. So if they made a mistake, nothing happened to them. It just says, please try again, and their 100 points remained intact. And on the second case study, it was the same puzzle, but every time somebody made a mistake, it minus 5 points from them. So mistake one would be -5, 95 points left. And it was interesting because the success rate of the people who become penalized by making an error on the puzzle, the success rate was 52%. And the success rate of those who weren't penalized was 68%. So there was a 16% delta in between those who were penalized and those who weren't. Then they analyzed how many times the participants try. So in the group that they made mistakes and were penalized, the average success rate of 52%, the average was they tried 5 times. The average of people who tried and who weren't penalized, who got the 68%, their average was they tried 11 times, which means they got twice the amount of practice that the first group, and which also meant that they kept trying because they weren't penalized. And so I try to view everything as a game. At the same time, that case study emphasizes if we always view something as it's a win-lose situation, either I fail or I succeed, then that'll hinder us from trying harder. Does that make sense? But if we view it as like playing Mario, Super Mario, it's a Super Mario effect. Every time we jump in a hole, every time we fall into the pit, every time the green shell hits us, then we never feel like, oh, I want to give up because I died, oh, I'm such a failure, I'm so embarrassed. We never feel like that. We always feel like, okay, next time I just know where to avoid. And so the next time I get to that level, I know which way to jump. I need to jump faster, or I need to avoid this hurdle. And that just keeps us going until what? Until we save the princess at the end of the game. So focus on the princess. Don't focus on the pits that you can fall into and the green turtle shells. So they talk about, there's a nice thought about life gamification. Life gamification. And making your life into a game, but not as a I'm gonna win or I'm going to lose, I'm going to fail, I'm going to succeed, but rather, how can I get to the next level? And if I don't, no problem. No problem. And if I do, awesome. So I set up these little games for myself every day, every month, that I hold myself. I'm still finding the balance between that, but I hold myself semi-accountable for what I do. So that's my thought for today. Life gamification. Don't look at the events in your life or the goals that you don't hit at the time that you expected to hit it as a failure. Rather, look at it as just a green turtle shell or just another pit that you fell into, and press the start button and try it over. Start from the beginning again. No problem. Because what drives us to finish the game is not necessarily just the princess, but it's also overcoming all the obstacles in the way. That's actually what makes the game fun. And that's what made Super Mario Brothers such a huge hit. Anyway, this is my longest video so far. I've been noticing that in the morning I've been getting really long. So I'm gonna cut this video short. Aloha, Jesse. Love you. And keep it up.